definitely. I'm European. I mean, when I first felt like I'm a European, I always, like, since my old childhood, I never really had any other even identification because I always knew that geographically Ukraine is Europe, and I'm someone who is traveling in Europe, who is speaking English, who is learning different European languages, doing different studies, many things connected to Europe. So I always felt very like European all my life. Something that really comes to my mind immediately after this question is about kind of intolerance towards Arabs, Turks, Asian, and other ethnic minorities in Europe because of the war in Syria and this migrants problem. I think this really speaks about quite a big intolerance, and this is one thing. Another one is that comes to my mind is probably, I would call it a weakness of Europe, inability to defend Europe right now. Defend, I mean, geopolitically, having a leadership. I think the formation of European Union is something really positive. I also think, I don't know what for you means a recent history, but some reconciliation process between like Germans and French after the Second World War. Of course, the unification of in Germany. I believe this is something that is important and is bringing everyone together. And I don't think that Europe had any big success recently in anything. I mean, economically, hard to say, politically, geopolitically. If we talk about COVID, I think Europe is not doing well. This visa-free regime, definitely. Like, because you don't need to stand in queues and humiliating yourself, defending what are you going to do, I don't know, in Paris or in Vienna or in Barcelona, proving some officers in the embassy that you are not going to become an immigrant there. I think it's humiliation because it really undermines your freedom of travel without like with real freedom. No, I don't think so. For me, of course, freedom to travel is more important than the freedom to work in the EU. But I think for majority of people in Ukrainian society, ability to work actually in Poland somewhere, but not very far from Ukraine. I mean, many people go to Poland, maybe people go to Germany. But usually they have quite low paid jobs. And economically, before Corona, I think we still had quite a big wave of migration. But I think many people came back because they don't have that job opportunities in Europe anymore because of Corona. So I don't think that this is similar, like this year to the last one, but I need statistics to see that, or some more data. I would like to see the EU and in general Europe as a player in European, not the European, in the world history. I don't think that the Europe is playing a proactive role now. Europe is playing very passive role. And being afraid of any changes and preserving the status quo, and sometimes denying the reality, which might not be the best. So I would like Europe to become like politically active in defending Europe and having proactive position in bringing more of, let's say, European innovation, some economical success, also talking about the national security. I think there are lots of challenges in Europe, and I think some European institutions that one of them, for example, is the Council of Europe. I'm quite familiar with since I'm working in the delegation. I think this organization is pretty weak now, and even European Court of Human Rights, I think, should play even more active role in protecting the human rights, because we know that, for example, Russia is denying the role of this court. So I think Europe should fight more for leadership in that. I think it really needs to be changed, this format. It could be Minsk or something else, but in completely like with a new wave. Simply the current one we have now is not working. I mean, there is communication going on between leaders, but it doesn't have any result. They're preparing for new invasion that is likely to happen, but this time probably what we see on the map and from the troops that we see on the border, that it may happen from the seaside, because they really want to get all the access to all the sea shore we have, and of course for the navy ships, and for strategically for them it's important to have that part in the south of Ukraine, so that they could control all the Black Sea, the Azov Sea, and this is the entrance to Mediterranean. Well, depending what do you mean by normalization. Well, I think this is actually the role that Europe should play. If it shows more force and saying like, look, we're going to defend and we're not going to allow this to happen, it could potentially normalize the relations. I mean, that Russia knows that there is that it's not for them, it doesn't give them a lot of benefits if they do this, that it will bring them lots of problems that they couldn't deal with. Currently, Putin thinks that any kind of price is okay. I mean, he can pay any kind of price almost, but it should be like a big pressure, like economically, politically, also with military, of course, but because it's the language that Putin understands. Current stage, no. Of course, we really want that, but we don't see any new signals from the EU that it's possible in the nearest future, and especially with COVID times. I think it made it more complicated, and like I understand that for Europe it would be problematic, like it would bring problems to Europe to defend Ukraine more with other forces that Europe has. But if Europe doesn't do it, I think we all lose as the Europe. We all lose as part of the world that really wants to have peace and some kind of prosperity and economic growth. I think it's changing, because For us, one of the European values, of course, is our love for freedom and ability to travel freely. Since we've got visa-free regime with the EU, it became more open. And even if you compare generations like me, I'm 30 years old, and generation who is, let's say, 20, they already traveled around the world, living in lots of hostels in their lives, having low cost tickets. They have completely different mentality. They have this sense of the social mobility and of living wherever they want, traveling wherever they want. So this is about one side of that European values. Other one is about standards in protection of the human rights, in the court system, in trade, in standards of different goods that we produce, in import and export. Should show the results from the inside, that we have results in fighting corruption and providing free justice and the new court system, but we are not doing well in. This is from one side, and from other side, we should do more promotion. I mean, promotion of Ukraine as like with many resources and opportunities that we have here.